Wow, was there a lot on the line tonight as Whitehall met Montague. You had the rivalry, the bragging rights, playing for the bell, and a West Michigan Conference title. Now, this game doesn't need both teams to be undefeated to be special, but you throw that in and we have the game of the week. The bell on the line tonight, and it's spent the last year sitting in Montague's weight room since the Wildcats beat the Vikings last year in this game. First quarter, no score, Sam Smith, 3 yards. That's the first time an opponent's got in the end zone against Whitehall this year. 7-0 Cats. Just before the half, it's 15-7 Montague. Here comes Andrew Durbin to junior Brody Fogus, 18-yard score. And we had a 1-point game at the half, 15-14. After Whitehall made a field goal in the third to go up 17-15, this is early fourth. Drew Collins, the senior quarterback, in from 5 yards out. It's 21-17 Montague. Whitehall comes back, though. Just a minute and 20 to go, and it's sophomore Nate Boley in on 4th and 1 from the 4. 24-21 Whitehall. Montague would drive and kick a field goal to force overtime in the extra session. First play, Drew Collins, 10 yards off the left side. 31-24 Montague with the lead. Back comes Whitehall. Durbin on the option to Boley, and the sophomore in again, and we are tied at 31 and going to a second overtime. After the Vikings missed a field goal on their possession, it comes down to Andrew Cooey from 26 yards, and after he had missed the extra point in the state semifinal against Maple City Glen Lake, he's the hero tonight. The bell stays in Montague, 34-31 in double overtime. Montague's 5-0. They get at least a share of the West Michigan Conference title. Drew Collins was really good tonight. 85 yards through the air, only missed 2 passes. He rushed for over 100, including 3 TDs, and the one in the first overtime. And Andrew Cooey hit the 2 field goals, one at the end of regulation, 25 yards to force overtime, and then the 26-yarder to win it. Fogus was good for Whitehall, the junior, with 4 catches for 60 yards. That touchdown's got to be a play of the week. It was an incredible catch in the court of the end zone. We bring in Brett Bakita, who is in the very dry Fox 17 studio. And Brett, maybe someday you're going to learn to follow me, buddy, because, man, have these games been outstanding. Tonight, incredible. Double overtime, 2 rivals, bell, conference title, everything on the line. This is one of the best games I've seen in a long time.
That's why you're the book. I got to follow you and read the book, I guess, is what I have to do. But you look, Jason, this had everything. I mean, and look at the story with Andrew Cooey, like you mentioned. You know, misses last year, a crucial extra point. They lose by 1 in the semifinal, redemption. Isn't that what high school sports is all about? It looks like the only thing this game didn't have, which we understand it's 2020 with COVID-19, is more fans, right? Because as you know, you've covered many of these, that would have been absolutely bonkers and packed. And what a game as we look back at these highlights. Montague and Whitehall, another one that doesn't disappoint.
Well, and Cooey, we talked to Cooey after the game. You know, he was just devastated. He took the loss to Glen Lake in the semifinal really, really hard, missing that extra point. You know, we'll hear from Pat Collins a little bit. They didn't blame him. That wasn't his fault. But, boy, for him to come through, he says it was for those seniors. Last year, he felt bad for those seniors when he missed that extra point. Here's him talking about getting the game tire and game winner tonight in the win over Whitehall.
Probably the one to tie it, to be honest, because I'm thinking about back in the semifinals. Last year when we lost to Glen Lake, when I missed the PAT, when I made that, I just started crying on the sideline. I was like, I did it for those seniors that's on the team, and I'm so happy for them and stuff, and I love those guys.
I'm just thinking, we got a lot of seniors on the offense. We've been in these situations before, and for me personally, I just had a fumble that gave him the ball back and the touchdown, so I'm like, Drew, you got to get this one back.
So there Drew's talking about, Brett, it was Whitehall had it in the red zone and turned it over on downs. Montague got the ball back with about 4 minutes to go, and they were running out the clock, and Drew fumbled, and Whitehall fell on it, and that led to that last touchdown that put Whitehall ahead. And then they rallied the troops, though, the seniors, the veteran Montague team, and they drove down the field impressively to force overtime. And that's what you like to see in a game like this, because neither of these teams had been in a close game. I thought both teams really battled tonight and showed that, you know, they could play a 4-quarter game against a tough opponent.
Well, 2 things, Jay. What's fun about the West Michigan Conference, as you know, is because you have such a difference in enrollment, is like this case. You know, you look at Whitehall, you can make a case that they're going to be a force to be reckoned with in Division 4, and then you've got Montague in Division 6, yet they play even in the conference. That's where this conference really helps teams out, and I think they're both going to make nice runs, good teams, come playoff time in a couple of weeks when that starts. The other thing you look back at is, what, was Drew Collins like the team manager, just a little kid when they had the Cody Cater run? And don't you feel this team kind of has that a little bit, especially after what happened to them last year, Jason?
I do. I think this is a really good Montague team in Division 6. Now, they got a district team in their district in Muskegon Catholic Central. That's probably going to be another great game when we get to the playoffs. But let's go to Coach's Corner now. Pat Collins talking about what he learned about his team tonight.
They're experienced. I thought the guys that have been through numerous games in the playoffs and in tight moments, and those 3-year senior guys that have played with those classes before them, then we play for those guys that played before us, but they help us build so we can play for the people after them. And our guys were just veterans. I mean, I can't say more than those. They just didn't seem like they changed their tempo. Mentally, they stayed strong, and they built the young guys up. And they kept encouraging the young guys, so I was really proud of the way they responded.
Talk to your kicker, Andrew Cooey, who made 2 field goals to win the game, essentially. He talked about the state semifinal game last year and he missed the extra point. I mean, how great is that for him to get the redemption?
Well, I'm glad you caught me on the second camera talk here, because I was on the radio over there, and I got choked up because I'm so proud that he can come back off of a semifinal situation like that and then do 2 big-time kicks like that. It means so much because he's such a great kid, and to go through that, it's hard. I mean, we built him up. You know, it wasn't his fault at all to lose a game like that, but he took it hard, and for him to come back and do that, it's just amazing. I'm so proud of him.
You keep the belt for a 6th straight year. You get at least a share of the Western Michigan Conference title. You beat your rival. What do you take most out of this win?
Well, I think they're really good, and I pay a lot of respect to Whitehall, the job they've been doing and the team they've put together this year, and that was impressive watching us play a tough team and be able to rebound it with some bad plays. So I'm just happy the improvement we made and the experience we had here tonight, because it's fun winning the bell and doing all that, but it's also fun getting better. I think we got better tonight.
All right, Montague's got a chance to win the league outright next week when it hosts North Muskegon right here at Townsend. Meanwhile, Whitehall will wrap up at Oak Ridge. Speaking